guys, here we are. MMA UK News, Stoomboy as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, going to be talking about Forza Fighting Championships 10. Just before we do, a quick word on my sponsor, Simplified Debt, are a company that helps people who are maybe struggling financially. So, if you do need any kind of help or advice, then feel free, hit these guys up. The number and website is across the bottom of the screen. Now, Forza Fighting Championship is going to be this Sunday, 28th of May. Going to be at Dalkeith Miners Club in Dalkeith. Now, there is tickets available for this, so make sure you do hit up your chosen fighters, first of all, because they may have tickets available. If not, make sure you head over to the Forza Fighting Championship Facebook page, and you will get all the details through there. So my next guest then is going to be on the show that night. So Eric Olsen. Now, anybody that doesn't know who Eric is a fucking gangster. So an absolute gangster. Now, this guy he always comes with bad intentions. I mean, he's coming to knock someone out or take someone out, and it's brilliant. I mean, it's something that the people that are at Forza on Sunday, Eric's going to bring a show, and he's going to bring a show like nobody else. So, Eric, listen, absolute pleasure, brother. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me.
Thanks for having me on.
Listen, absolute pleasure. As when I saw your name, right, I was like, wow, Eric Olsen is coming to Dalkeith. So,
Yeah.
and it's always a show. I mean, you always come to put on a show. You always come as with bad intentions. I mean, everybody knows when you're on the show. They know exactly what's coming.
Yeah, fans might get beat the fuck up. Corners might get slapped. And fighters that I'm fighting might get fucked up. That's the way it is. So this fight came about because somebody gave me Forza's information. So I broke my leg twice last year. This year and last year. Fighting on King of the Streets. I'm 2-2 on King of the Streets. I'm the infamous motherfucking eye gouger that wrestles everybody down because I wrestle better than everybody because I grew up wrestling. I'm from America. That's all we do. Dagestan, Long Island. So I wrestle everybody down and I fucking gouge their eyes until they scream and beg and they stop it. I broke my leg and then I fought again. And then I broke my leg when I fought again. I didn't let it heal. So anyway, I was set to fight Tony Mustard. Somebody gave me Forza's information. I forgot who it was. John Ferguson, I believe. I think he's the friend and the coach of the guy I'm fighting. So I was looking at the fight Tony Mustard, heavyweight MMA. But then my leg's supposed to be healed in 6 to 9 months. So all I train is like grappling and wrestling anyway. I really don't kickbox anymore. So I went and I had it looked at again, and they're like, it is healing, but like last time, I fought 2 months after I originally broke it, and it wasn't fully healed. So the doctor was like, look, you could do it again, but if you get kicked in it, especially by a big motherfucker like Tony, you're gonna probably break it again.
Yeah.
Longer time out. So I was like, fuck it. So I messaged Forza and I was like, yo, I'm sorry, but I got to pull out. And I don't ever pull out of anything. But I was like, to save it to whatever you got, what else do you do? And do you do that like dumb cage boxing? Because I've never done cage boxing. I really don't. I've never been into it. I do bare knuckle boxing. I do Thai. I do K1 or MMA or no rules street fighting on King of the Streets and the Vale Tudo in Poland and Wattori. So he's like, yeah, let me see. So I believe that Wain, this is like a last-minute fight for my opponent, too. Like, both of us I didn't want to put my name forward and pull out. So I said, look, I can't be getting kicked in my leg. And in MMA, anybody that's fucking going to, they're going to throw leg kicks at you. I can't deal with that till it's fully fucking healed. So what else do you got? And he said that. And I said, yeah, cool, whatever, I'll do it. Because I've never fought in Scotland before. I fought in Thailand, lived in Thailand. All over I fought in England, Wales, all over America, fought in Poland, fought in Sweden, but I've never fought before in Scotland. So I wanted to jump on the chance to do that.
Yeah. That's a good thing. I mean, Scotland Scotland is a historically a fighting nation. We're like
Yeah,
the underdog.
and you don't like the English, so I'm good with
that. So, but
Can't
we've always
stand them
been like,
motherfuckers.
yeah, I mean, we've been like the underdog for hundreds of years and fought big armies. I mean, you're talking about English and so on. So, and I mean, we held our own. So, obviously, events like this, when they come up, and I mean, especially like coming in yourself, Wayne, coming in, even on last minute notice. And I mean, you yourself saying cage boxing, never really done it before, but fuck it, let's do it, man. That's a fighter that does not care what the rules are. Let's just jump in and do it.
Yeah, and Wayne is the same thing. Like, you know, I could sit here and lie and talk about shit or whatever, but he took the fight last minute as well as me. So I don't really know nothing about him. He's going to get beat up. He's going to try to beat me up. And then I'm going to say, fuck the Rangers and fuck the Hearts, up the Celtics.
We love it. Absolutely love it. What about you then? Obviously, coming to Scotland, that's the first time you'll be up here. Are you going to be spending a couple of days here?
I live in Scotland.
Oh, okay, right, okay. So apologies. So whereabouts in Scotland are you?
Glasgow.
Oh, listen, you're local. You're local to me then.
Yeah.
So what do you think of Scotland in regards to training? Because obviously you mentioned other places, New York, and you've trained and travelled everywhere. I mean, what do you think of the level in Scotland for training?
You know, I'm actually surprised. So I grew up wrestling. I'm from Long Island, New York. At 5 years old, I brought home the permission slip for collegiate wrestling in 1987, 1988. My mom signed it. And from that day on, 6 days a week, 2 hours of fucking collegiate wrestling, midget novice every day. Tons of tournaments, winning first place, second place, growing up and wrestling, and then New Jersey. So I train at a place called the Grip House now.
Yes.
And their level of grappling is beautiful. Like in England, a lot of guys can't grapple. They can do jiu-jitsu, and so what? I mean, it's good, but to me, wrestling, collegiate wrestling, Greco, and all that is your fundamentals because it starts standing. Now, don't get me wrong, jiu-jitsu on the floor, if you don't know it, will kill you because it's submission grappling, so it's designed to break your body and kill you. But wrestling is control and position, and then you mix that with the jiu-jitsu and you get a very dangerous mix. So I went to Grip House, and their wrestling classes, they have twice a week. Phenomenal. Love them. They rival back that in America with the collegiate wrestling guys there. And then their jiu-jitsu is beautiful too. Like, I rolled with a lot of guys from all over the world, and there were two groups that rolled different than a lot of the others. Brazilians from Brazil that were purple belts roll like black belts. And the Dagestanians, who were white belts, roll like black belts because of their wrestling. The Chechens and the Dagestanians I trained with in Germany for like 2 months. But here in Scotland, I'm finding a lot of white belts and blue belts that I think are purple belts or above because they compete and they're very serious. So I love Grip House, and I love the people who train there. I don't really talk to too many people like I train. I'm obviously polite to everybody, but like outside, I don't like run around like I can't tell you people's names, but I'm always in there. And I love it. And I just started doing gi again. I'm a 20-year white belt that can tap out rounds sometimes or control them. I trained under Gleison Tabau, Ivan Hippolyte, Coben Lokoche Mai Tang, trained under Andy Filardo, trained under Anthony Giacchina, trained under Matt and Nick Serra, trained under Rodrigo Gracie. Like, so now I'm at Grip House, and I got to say, I trained Brian LaFleur, Chris Raid, those guys done at Long Island MMA before. Yeah. And Grip House holds its own with any of them. Yeah. Really good instruction. I'm very, very surprised because a lot of English guys can't wrestle. You got to go to like the Polish and everything.
Yeah.
But the Scots motherfuckers up here, really good. Very, very surprised.
Yeah. Grip House is one of the places where, I mean, the wrestling, I mean, like Cammy Nicol, Kieran Malone and all that comes over.
Yeah.
So, and
love it.
And they're just fucking crazy, man. Commonwealth wrestlers as well. So quite a very, very high level. So,
I trained with Billy Swanson too down in Tennessee. He was like an undefeated heavyweight for a while, a legit like college wrestler, an old state wrestler. Big motherfucker knows his wrestling.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, it's good to hear that Scotland. I mean, Scotland is a good level. It's really, really good level. So, what's next for you then, Eric? So obviously Sunday will be your main focus. Obviously Wain Morgan,
Yeah.
that'll be your main focus at the moment. But what would you like to see yourself doing go forward? Obviously, wait till the leg heals up, and then you can get properly back into it. So, but
Well, I got
what do
things
you see?
going on in these no rules fight clubs. I got fights coming up with King of the Streets.
Yeah,
Everyone knows I do that. And then Frontier of the Streets in Germany, and then UUF in Denmark. These are all concrete-based, no rules fight clubs. I'll be doing all that. I'm probably going to fight pro MMA down in Alabama against undefeated heavyweight Bear Hill, either at the end of July, beginning of August.
yeah,
Because that fight got pushed off because we both got injured and just headaches. Yeah. Ultimately, for Forza, I want to fight Tony Mustard for that title when my leg's better. And
yeah,
then I want to get, so people might take this the wrong way, but I don't really give a fuck. There's a monster that you guys have on your show called Mark. What's his last name?
Matt McQueen.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's a monster.
yeah,
And he's big. And I watched a bunch of his stuff, and he likes to stand up and no-gi grappling and wrestle motherfuckers. And he
yeah,
slams people. And I love it. Mark, I'm a fan of it. So I want to fucking submission grapple him at some point. Now, Mark is a much higher belt than I am. He is a brown belt. And by all accounts, he's a real brown belt. But I want to see if he can take me down the way he takes people down, because he's big and he's strong and he's very explosive. And I have hundreds of fucking years wrestling under me since a kid. I'm
yeah,
not the easiest person to take down in a live grappling thing. So presumably in the future, when my leg's all good, you know. And the other thing about that is if I were to grapple him, that would be another level of seriousness for me. Like
yeah,
right now, I'm kind of just, I'm training, yeah, but my diet ain't on point. My strength and conditioning just consists of doing fucking crazy squats and deadlift. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
For someone like that, it would be privates, it would be classes, it would be double fucking strength and conditionings, it would be everything on point. And if I come in and I lose, cool. But
yeah,
if I come in
yeah,
and I win, and realistically, I don't even really care about the outcome so much as I just wanted to fucking test, like, because I watched his stuff. He loves his blast double. But in
yeah,
my opinion, it's always difficult to blast double a guy that's substantially shorter than you with a good base.
yes,
So that, like I said, people could take this the wrong way. Like, yo, who's this fucking American who's calling out Mark? But it ain't, I mean, I'm not meaning it in a bad way.
yeah,
So that's something that I plan on doing in the future with Forza. But before him, I gotta have my fight with Tony Mustard for that
yeah,
title
yeah,
because I committed to it, so it has to happen. I just need my leg to be 100%. Can't have my fucking fibula snapping again.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. Matt McQueen, I can give you a date right now and a competition right now. Um, Total Combat Championships in Scotland, November
Yeah,
18th, for the Total Combat
yeah.
open weight belt.
So that would be cool. The only thing that I have to see is I'm a signed BYB fighter. I just
Yeah,
beat the undefeated Richie Leak, the heavyweight English guy, in
yeah,
Dubai. So I'm on a 4-fight contract with BYB,
yeah,
and I'm not fighting in June because I'm going back to America. So
yeah,
to my knowledge, September was supposed to be a BYB fight in America, and I'm getting paid really good for it. And it's against the guy who originally I broke my leg fighting in King of the Streets. So I kind of wanted my revenge for that. So
yeah,
I can't say yes to that. But at the same time, if something fell through and that doesn't happen, then me being me, I'll start prepping and double training now for
yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Well, that's a date. That's a date. I mean, that's a date for you to think about. As I said, that's an
Yeah,
option for
100%.
you. So, and then final thing for you, Eric. I mean, you've been in the game a long time. I mean, you mentioned
Yeah,
obviously started wrestling a 5-year-old, and so you've had
yeah.
some amazing people in your journey so far. But anybody in particular you want to shout out to? Any friends, family members, teammates, anything like that?
It's hard for me to do that because if I forget anybody, I feel like a prick.
Yeah,
So everybody who I'm cool with knows but I didn't know I could be shouting people out. Like I didn't write anyone down. So I'm going to decline that simply because I don't want to name people and then get messages. Oh, you didn't name me, Eric? What the fuck? So,
yeah. So we're just waiting on Eric coming back. He's out walking, as we can see. So awesome guy. I mean, Eric's awesome. I mean, you're going to see some awesome stuff on Sunday at Forza. I mean, anybody that watches, even go on, just Google Eric, man, and you can see some of the stuff that he's done. He's, as I say, he's a gangster, man. He brings it every single time, which is exactly what people pay money to see. I mean, and he's as bad as they come, man. But I say bad in a good way. So obviously everybody knows when we say bad, it's a good bad, man. He's definitely a dangerous man in that cage, at ring, mats. Talks about the king of the street. I mean, anybody, if you Google or even go on Facebook and look at King of the Street, okay, King of the Street is no rules. I mean, there's no fucking rule. We talked about eye gouging and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there is no fucking rules in King of the Street. And as I said, he's 2-2 at the moment. Obviously, 2 wins and 2 defeats. But I mean, it's hardcore, man. It's proper hardcore. So obviously, he's going to have a cage boxing fight at Forza on Sunday against Wain Morgan. So we're just going to get Eric back in. So Eric, brother,
yeah,
there we go.
Sorry, the reception gave out.
Yeah. Well, I was just telling the viewers about King of the Street. I was just saying King of the Street, no rules. That is probably as hardcore fighting as you're ever going to get. So,
yeah.
Yeah. King of the Street, definitely hit up King of the Street on.
Yeah, the reception here is fucking cutting.
Yes.
I might have to go in a minute because I'm getting to where my destination.
No problem.
But the reception's really bad. Like I can't hear you. It keeps dropping. I don't want to fuck your interview up.
No, brother. Listen, thank you very much for obviously taking the time to speak to me tonight. I'll be there on Sunday, so obviously we'll get a catch up. So it's going to be great to see you on Sunday, Eric.
Okay, thank you, bro. I'm sorry about the Wi-Fi cutting out.
Not a problem, brother. Listen, enjoy the rest of your night, okay?
Okay, thank you, man. Later. Bye.